So hi everyone, in this video I am going to discuss about arrays and structures. So arrays in C work with a group of variables. So for example, we declare an array employee of type int with 10 members. So here employee is an array of 10 integer variables, but the thing is only integer values in these 10 variables can be stored. So if we want to store a lot of information, so this would not be enough, as it is necessary to store employee name, designation, department, age, and then the salary for each employee. Okay, so the structure comes into action. So we need a group of these variables. So struct employee, and then under the employee, we will have several members like name, designation, department, age, and then the salary. And as you can see, these members have different data types. So unlike array, which groups similar data types, a structure is for different data types. So the array of structure. So now, it doesn't mean that they are a totally different concept. We can actually use also the concept of arrays with structure. Okay, but how do we initialize the structure members if you need an array of structure? So suppose that we have this structure, struct student with members name and then ID. Okay, if we need to declare a variable of the structure, the way we do it is we use the first the struct student, okay, and then the keyword struct followed by the name, which is the tag student, and then followed by the name of the variable John. But what if we want to create an array of this structure? Because let's say we have several students, we have many students to consider. So would it be a good idea to create or declare a separate variable for each student that we have, like John, Joseph, and then let's say Mary or Maria. So how many, if we have 100 students, how many declaration are we going to create? Do we need to create 100 declarations as well? So we can make use of arrays. Okay, so if we need to declare a structure, an array of the structure, the way is we use the keyword again, struct student, and then followed by the array name, which is the CSE, and then followed by the number of students that we want. So this is how we can initialize the structure in an array. So struct student and then CSE with 3 members, and enclosed in the braces are each of the information of each student. So for John, then followed by his ID, let's say 101, then Joseph, then with his ID 108, 108, and then for Maria, it's 209. Okay, and each of the array, the member is enclosed with braces. Okay, so now how do we access the structure na array elements? And we have initialized earlier an array of structure, right? So how do we access the members? So we have in our main, inside the main, so we declared a variable int I, so that this will be our iterator. And let's just print here database of CSE students, and then their names, and then as well as the ID. So this will be the headers of our table. And we are going to loop through the array by using a for loop. So we have for int I equals 0. So I is less than 3 since we have 3 students, and then I plus plus. And then inside that, we print out each of this information for John, and then his ID 101, Joseph 108, Maria 209. So we are going to loop through this using a for loop, right? So similarly, we use the dot operator, then CSE of I dot name, and then CSE of I dot ID. So what it essentially means is, for example, the I is equal to 0, So that would be CSE of 0 that name and then CSE of 0 that ID. And if we look at here, so this will be it will refer to John, since si John is the CSE of 0. And then for Joseph, that would be CSE of 1. And then for Maria, that would be CSE of 2. So the way we index the members of the array is like how we normally index the members of or the elements of an array. Okay, so yeah, so this is the whole code here. So outside the main, we declare the structure, and inside the main, this is where we have declared an array of structures, CSE, with the members John, Joseph, and then Maria. And then, so as I have mentioned, this first element of the array structure will be CSE of 0. Then second, the member will be CSE of 1. Then Maria will be CSE of 209. So this is how we have printed out the database of the CSE na students. So if CSE of 0 dot name, so that will be referring to John. And then CSE of 0 dot ID, that will be referring to John's ID, which is 101. And then if we look through again, if I is equal to 1, that will be CSE of 1. And that will be referring to the second element of the array. So CSE1 dot name, that will be Joseph. Then CSE of 1 dot ID, that will be 108. And then for the last member, its index is 2, right? So CSE of 2 dot name, that will be Maria. And then CSE of 2 dot ID, that will be 209. Okay. So this is the general na syntax. So CSE of I dot name and CSE of I dot ID. So therefore, structure, then tag or the name of the structure, then A index dot structure na member. Okay. Now let us move on to nested na structures.